Welcome back to Guardian Angel Resin Creations. Today I'm going to do a mushroom set. So I have got 3 little mushroom trinket containers and I have 4 mushrooms. This is a set of 5, but the other mushroom is just so huge that it is just not worth my while to even make, because it took 500 grams or mils of actual normal resin. So it's a massive thing. So I'm just going to do the set of 4 and then do some of these, and I'm doing them in my casting powder, and I think I'm just going to put a sparkle through them. So I have a whole heap of freebies that I got from Harry and Wilma, so I'm going to get them out and we're going to have a go. Alright, so I've made up 200 grams of my casting powder. Now I have all my freebies sitting here. So I've got a bit of green, which is really nice. The white's not going to work. And then we have gold. I think gold's a bit too Christmassy. Then we have a bluey colour and a purple. Silver. That's a Christmas one, so we'll leave that one out. Red. And then we have a pale pink, another gold and silver, and a yellow, and another red. And then I have one that I've made up myself. My grandchildren were making resin stuff and they had all this left over, so I just poured them all in one. So I did that one, and then we have a bit of Colour Passion. So I might actually use my Colour Passion, save my freebies, because I've got these as well. These are like a flake. So I might put the pink flake through it and a bit of this, and then I'm going to drop in a drop of this in each one and see how I go. So I'm just going to actually just make sure that my little stick here is not sharp. So I'm just scraping the excess off it. Sorry about the noise, because it is a little on the sharp side. You know when you get your resin and you haven't poured it all the way to the top? That's what this is. So it's just a piece. I just get in there and just swirl. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to pour some flakes in. And I'm just going to pour them in. There we go, heap of them. And then some of these. Please excuse the noise, my dryer's going in the background. So we got to heap these sparkles, pinkies, and just going to mix them in. Now they will sink, and that is the plan, that they do sink into my mushrooms. Now I probably haven't made up enough to go into that one as well, so I think I'm just going to quickly make up another 100 grams of casting powder, then I'll come back. So I'm just going to mix in a little bit more of these flakes. So a little bit more of these. And a bit more of my pink. I just love these. These are fantastic colours. Now I have just realised that I do have glow-in-the-dark sparkles that I should have put in there as well. So I am just going to find them and see how we go. So I'm just bending down to my cupboard here. And I do have glow in the dark pink. This is from Harry and Wilma, this one. So just lift the lid and just get a bit of that in there. Not sure whether it'll even work in the powder. Mix in, there we are, that's better. Mix them all in. Now hopefully it does not float. I want them to sink. Come on, sink pink. Get in there. Go. Maybe I might just sprinkle a bit of this pink into these. So sprinkle, and then I'll just shake it around. There we are, so that it goes in the top, and that's where I want it, in the top of it. And another one. That might be a bit too much. Pour a bit out. Don't want to waste it. There's still a bit too much in there. Actually, if I go like this, shake them all around. There we go. Get it all around it. All around the edge. A bit more in that one, I think. There we are, because I might do the bottoms of them maybe green. So we'll see. Bring that into this bit here. There we are. Rub that around it. And a bit in that one. And a couple in the tops of the other ones. Shake that all around. There we go. So this took the whole set here took nearly 2 litres of normal resin. So be aware, if you are doing even this set of 5, be aware that it is a very expensive set to make, because just the 5 of them takes nearly 1 kilo of resin. Certainly not a cheap exercise to do these. There we go, all around there. And then we do a bit of that, and I will put, so I'd already done it, hadn't I? I will put green in these, I think, in those ones. So, that all around there. There we go. Now, this is starting to set up quite nicely now, so if I need to, I can put a little bit more water in them, but I don't think I do. So, just put a touch more water in, only a couple of mils, just to get it to run a little bit better. There we go. It's going to just pour them in. Didn't set that up very well, did I? So I'm just going to move them so that I can pour them properly. This pink is going to float. Just not what we wanted. Go, so there we go. So that's the round bit on the mushy done. There we are. Comes up quite nice. I can see all that glowy pink around the edges. Now, mix between pours. I do make the mistake of not doing it, and then I have it settled at the bottom. So there we are. Bring it all the way to the top. Perfect. So I don't think the camera shows it up, but you can actually, like, because they're so see-through, you can see to where it is going to sit. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do the purple in there now. I rather like them how they are. So hopefully that will come all the way to the top where I need it. Oh, perfect. So that took 300 grams just to do these three. I'm going to move it over here. So, like, I've got minimal left. So I'm going to make up some more for these lids, and then we'll let them set up for probably 20 minutes or so, and then we are going to find some sorry, we're going to do some green sparkles and some green fluoro in the bases of these. So maybe you might do green and yellow. There we go. So all right, I'll make up a little bit more. Alrighty, I've got another 300, so I'm just mixing that in. I've dropped all the sparkles in it. Let's move that out of the way. My lid's over here. So this is set up so that I can actually continue making them. So once I poured the lids, I can make the bases. So easy, because I don't have to worry about these lids because nothing's going on them. So just make sure that is all mixed in, all the edges. So there we go. Now I do use either silicone or glass containers. My plastic one, if I don't get to it fast enough, I cannot get the powder out of it very easy. Where these, if they dry, you just scrunch them. Like with this one, I'm going to let it dry, and then you just scrunch it, you wipe it out with a paper towel, and that's it. Give it a rinse under the outside tap, and put your leftovers in the dirt. But you shouldn't, if you've wiped it out properly, have any residue. So alrighty. There we are. So we've done 300 of the powder and 100 of water. Let's see how we go with that. So I am going to make sure we don't have an air bubble in this, because this has got a little chimney thing with a little window in it. So I'm just going to just half pour into these, because I dare say I'm going to have to make up more. So I'm going to go to the top of this one. So I'm just going to quickly make up another 300. Okay, so I've made up another 300. I'm just going to quickly mix it. I do have another tiny little mushroom sitting off to the edge if I need it. I was using it for another project, so I've just quickly taken the mushroom out of that. Okay, mix in. And there we go. Now I do use quite a runny mix, but I don't want it to go globby really quickly. So pour that to the top. all the way to the top, because remember it is a lid, so it needs to come all the way up. So I'm not being gentle when I'm pouring. I am just pouring all the way. There we go. Now pull this one in. So it is going into the center of the mix, not sort of on top of it. Okay, so I will have enough to do this one. Just mix that in properly. I may have to quickly find something else. Get that in there. Oh, I should have done a cup and saucer to realise that. But it is a mushroom day, so. Right, all the way to the top with that. I didn't put the glowy in there before because I wasn't sure whether I was going to use it. So I will just move that. Now hopefully you did see that, so I will quickly find something. Alrighty, I found my toilet. So I am going to just pour into the very top of this piece. Try and get in the very top, because it does have like a line in it. It's not quite up to the line, so I'm going to just keep pouring in there so that it's up to the little line in it. I can sort of see the line. It's like, you know, the top of the system, the lid where you take the lid off. That's, oh, just about. So just use the rest of that in there. So that's going to have like a line of sparkle on it, which will be pretty cool. There we go. Righty. Oh, that's going to be fantastic. Right, move him out of the way. There we are. Leave him for another day and pour, because you can just pour in over the top of them. So, all right, I'm going to just wipe this out. I'm going to make up. So these were 300 and these were 600. See, a lot, like over a kilo of casting powder will be used in these. I dare say a kilo, close enough to kilo and a half. It's a lot of money to be spending on some mushrooms. So if you are selling them, you need to make your money back. Now, I don't know how much to charge for these. So anybody out there, if you do them, please let me know how much you charge for them. Okay, I have made up 600 grams of resin. So I am going to move my little lids out of the way. Move that over. Just gently put him over there. Then I'm going to bring my bases down and put them there. Okay. Now I have found some Harry and Wilma sparkles that I had. So I've got these, the green ones. So they're like a holographic, they go blue and green. Then I found these that sort of go purple and blue, depending on where you look at them. And then there is my holographic green, which I thought was the same, but it's not. I don't think it's the same as that either. This is more of a turquoisey colour. So I'm thinking I might, because I have a blue over here as well, but I sort of want to save my samples really. So so that I know what colours I'm doing, but they're not that expensive. I think I got them for maybe $5 on sale, and they should last me for ages. So every time I buy something, I get freebies. So I'm gonna do the yellow. So, because there's not a lot in there, and now I'm gonna save a little bit just in case. And then I'm going to put in this one, my green. I can get it open. There we go. Green. Oh, that's got the wow. Look at my green. Then we are going to go a bit of this one, which is very, very cool. There we go. So a fair amount of that one in there. Now, please excuse my dryer. It is still going. Just going to put the tiniest bit of this one in there. Go, and then we have our green. Now, I am going to put some of this in and shake it all about. Here we go. Shake it all down in there. Sort of run it around, and whatever is left will just sit in the base of it. So more in that one. Get it all around it. There we are. Like it needs to be on the outside, not the inside of it. Now a bit more in this one. Get into the little bits in there, because this has got mushrooms and all sorts of stuff on it. Get down into the door, make his front door sparkle. There we go. I want to bring it all the way down there. There we go. Right. Now, put some in here. Reasonable amount. And I was hoping that would be cured enough, but it's not to actually do one with this. Okay, just make sure it is all mixed in. I didn't clean out my thing. Thought I'd leave the pink in there. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so, oops, get rid of that. Some extra sparkle on there. Extra dry bits. And let's pour. So we go for the babies. And let's move that out of the way for a second. Do the babies. Now the other cup was a lot easier to use. All the way to the top. Oops, oh, nearly dribbled. There we go, to the top. Let's move them out of the way. I'm not sure whether you can see them all the way over there. I'll just put that in there. Pour and mix. Pour and mix. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Now I will stand up to see whether you can see what I am doing. Hopefully you can. Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. There we are. Hopefully you can see. Okay, so we're going to go into this one. going all the way to the top, and then we are going to pour into these. Get down off my ladder. Can't quite see where that's going. Wow, that's deceiving how much that's taking. Yep, here we go, up the top. Make sure you get it up that lip. We are. Now I'm going to do this one, and then if I need to, I'll make up more for the house. Pour him in there. Because if I do have leftovers, I will just put it into that toilet. And have a sparkly toilet. Top that up. Now I'm just going to weigh this and see how much I've got left. Okay, I've got less than 300 left. Now, I just don't think it's going to be enough, so I'm going to do another couple of hundred, and I'll come back. Okay, so my brain's out of gear, and I've made up an extra 300, which I truly did not need an extra 300 of powder. So I'm just mixing it up, and making sure it's all mixed, just moving my stool out of the way. Let's get all that sparkle off the edge of that spoon there. Make sure there is no dry on the edge of the spoon. Right. Now I know the ratios aren't going to be the same, but that doesn't matter. You're not going to notice. So let's pour that in. Be a little bit gentle with this one to make sure that it gets in and works its way up the mushroom. Just gently pour that. I don't want any air bubbles in the mushrooms. Okay, I'm just going to give that a tap. Make sure there's no bubbles. Okay. Need one of those little vibrator things, but if you keep vibrating it, when it starts to set up, it sort of does like funny bits around the top of it. So I'm pretty sure that that's got it. So there we go. So that's all the way to the very top. Right. Now I'm going to have to find some stuff. Alright, so I am going to come back when this is all cured. I'm going to find something to put this into and come back for demold. Okay, so this one is set enough for me to demold because I do have another project that I need this mold for, so I'm just going to quickly demold this and just going to pop it out. So because it's rubbery, it's a little bit hard to get it. There we go. Sort of got to get it on the right angle, really. There we go. Pop him out. There we go. Now, did something break? I don't think so. Oh, I broke his little fence. That's because I was impatient and didn't wait. but you're not going to notice because he's so tiny. Did his sparkle come out? A little bit of his sparkle come out. Not as much as I was hoping for. You can see it under there, but I'm sure if you sand them, I've seen people sand them and it brings out that sparkle. But I don't need to sand him because I don't want him sort of over the top, but you can see in there, a little bit of sparkle in there, in his little hutch there. His little windows, got a little bit of a sparkle in them. There we go. Alrighty, I'm going to let these set up for another few hours and then I'll come back and demold. Whoops, and I'll put my hand on one that is not anywhere near set, near ready to set. So, like these are. Oh, you can see that. Look at that. Hopefully that worked out. Because I didn't put sparkle in the actual mold in this one. This is why you can only see what has dropped down. I'm going to give these a few hours. Demold time. Alrighty, so I demolded that and I showed you that. So we are going to go our mushies first. Please excuse that dry, that is still going. Now, hopefully I can get these out by just rolling it. There we go. Now, I think I have to, my fingernail in there and pull it out over the edge. I think this one's the hardest one to get off. Right, some air in there. I think I actually used isopropyl when I did this last time, but you cannot use the isopropyl onto the casting powder. Well, this might be another job for my husband, I reckon. Alright, hang on one second. Oh, I can't pull. Yeah, so that's a lot of effort to get that out. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So I'm just going to pour in what's left over back into this mold so that I can keep it. Then I will seal it, and I'll seal it all in. And I think I'm going to seal it with scratched on my fingernail. Maybe a polyurethane sealer, because the other one that I have, it's just a sealer, so I don't think it's going to hold them in. So the polyurethane will. So look at that. That's pretty cool. So if I get, now these are not dry enough to do this with, but if I just go gently like that, look at that. Actually, I can probably, don't sand, wipe. If I gently wipe, so gently wiping, so this is just a damp cloth. Because it's not scratching it with this cloth. See how it's bringing out those colours in it? So you get them before they're super solid, and this will work every time, I've found. There we go. I might just wet my cloth a little bit more. Container of water here that I use, because I use super cold water, so that is a bit wetter. Look at that. You don't want to bring it out too much because then it they will just pop out. So there we go. That will do on that one. So it will leave our little sparkles in there. Just turn that in the right way. That is the hardest mushroom to get off. Tried to do an angel the other day. Oh, failed miserably. I tried to make a mold, but I had 25 shore hardness silicone. I've had to cut it out and it was just turned out awful. So I need to get some thinner, like a 10 I think, to make it. God, these are hard. Oh, roll it over. There we go. Alright, I'm going to demold these and I'll come back. Alright, so I've got number 2 out. That's so cool on the top of it. Give them a wipe, because you don't want to wipe all this pink off, but I want to bring out a little tiny bit of that green. There we are, a little bit of that come out. Just wipe over them. Can see it coming out slightly. It does do better if you put the sparkle onto the mold, but have a look at that. It's actually just bringing it out just slightly. I'm just gently rubbing. There we are. Don't want to rub too hard because I don't want to lift all that sparkle out. Yeah, that's brought up a little bit on the edges. That's pretty cool. I like that. Right, so let's try this one. They're quite hard molds. Now get that down. So you can get it down, and then it rolls itself. So you need to roll it up over the top of that. So rolled on itself. See, it's rolled on itself. So my nails in there, and I'll pause you again. I think I've worked out how to get it off. I push my stick up into it because then I'm not scratching anything with my fingernails, and then I get it out. So I'm just leaving all these sparkles in this mold. Just wipe off the excess there. There we go. How cool is that? Have a little bit of a line, but I don't think that's going to matter. Nobody is even going to see that. So let's pop that through again. Such thin molds. They're so thick. Gonna wipe that. Oh, look at that. That's coming up really cool. So again, this was meant to be a quick video, not turned out that fast. Should be packing to go away. Instead, I'm out here playing with resin. And there we are. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Okay. My arms are getting sore. And see how easy this one is to get off. So, I'll get my fingernails in under that. This one's going to be a bit easier, I think. There we go. Hopefully you can see. And go pop that over. You can see the little indents in there from the little dots for the mushrooms. Whoa, that one's cool. Wow, look at that. Stand him up. These are very, very cool. And put them all off to the side. Pull my little excess back into the container. Give this a bit of a a wipe over, it still warms, so it's easy to wipe it over and get that sparkle showing. There we go. Now you can't see a lot of the pink. I don't really want to be wiping the top because I don't want to get rid of this pink. There we are. That'll do. Quite like them. So we just move them up. Now I'm going to let them dry. And let's do some lids, shall we? Get my fingernails in under those lids. A little bit hard. I'll just get my tiny, there we go. Just got to lift that up. So there we are. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I like how it's got the indents in it. That's a wow. I really like that. That is a wow. Alright, so now these lids, I've color coded these lids. So in here is the right one. So this one goes with this one. So I'm just going to pull this one out first, so that I can put it onto the right lid. And I might have to put some sort of a dot on them so that I know. Oh, ho, ho, ho. This is going to be super cool. Don't want to lose all those sparkles though. Oh, wow. Just gently pulling that off so that I can keep all those sparkles in the mold here. Just want to just gently pop this back in, get it all back in there. Wow, wow, wow. Just going to just run my finger around it. That's so cool. Like, even if you didn't want to use that with the lid on it, that is wow. Look at the colors in them. Wow, wow, wow. That is amazing. Wow. Look at that. Hopefully you can see all the fine sparkle in that. That is so cool. That was with the fine yellow sparkle, I think. Wow. Wow, wow. Definitely wow. Gonna move them off to the edge. Now we're gonna get our next one. Pull him off. That come up a little bit easier. Let's get that over the edge there. Get a bit of traction on it. Let's get him up there. Pull that up. Just need to roll. Come on, roll up there. Does anybody else have this amount of trouble? I think my hands are a little bit weak. There we go. Another very, very cool one. See, there's a difference in the lids. So there's a difference in the height in these ones. So that is very cool. I love how these make the indent in them. Put that one back and then get him. Okay, grab him and roll. Sometimes you need 3 hands, don't you? There we go, roll that down. Just catch that sparkle. Oh, this one's gonna be cool. Get out. Come on, ouch, come. Come on, ouch, come. Out. Come out. Oh, dropping all the sparkle. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Come on, out you come. Right, I'll feed that back in there. Then I push that back in there. Then I'm going to push that sparkle back into this container. There we are. Get all that back in there. Oh, look at that. I love how it does that. That is just amazing. I definitely need to get some of that finer yellow. That turned out very, very cool. So there he is with his lid. That is super cool. That's got the wow factor, these ones, haven't they? Rightio. Well, let's last lid. And I do apologise again. These are quite long videos. I don't seem to ever be able to make a quick video, which is normally the intention, but it is what it is. Okay, so I need to go from the back. So I need to go from here and roll it up. There we go, that's got it. Roll that, pull its corners, pull that out of there, and pull that out of there. Out you come, there we go. That's got him. Pull his little chimney out. Oh my god. Wow. Brush them off. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my god. That is so cool. Like, you can paint the lines, like that would be so cool painted in like a fluorescent green to go with the bases. Very, very cool. Alright, so I'm actually just going to pick up some of this green and put it back in the little containers. Go, put it in that one. Go, now, final one. And I'll take some pictures of all of these, put them in the sun, on the grass, where I normally take my photos, because I am in the middle of making a photo box out of core flute so that I can take some photos with the lights. But for the time being, I just sit them on the grass. I get natural light and they look pretty cool on the grass. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna just get that and just squeeze him, gently bring him out. And gently pop him back in there. Pop him back in there. There we go. That's got it. Alright, get all these out of the way. And look at that. Look. I just love this mold. It's got the little door. There we are. Look at the mushrooms. That is fantastic. And my lid. Now put his little lid on. Bring that around where it's meant to be. Look at that. That is amazing. I love that fine sparkle. Okay, I'll be ordering some of that because that is amazing. That just shows up like you wouldn't believe in this. Look how well that shines up. Wow, wow, wow. Now I'm not sure whether that's the glow in the dark stuff that's doing that, maybe. Because that's got the sparkle from the glow in the dark. Wonder. Very, very cool. Now I don't know how to test these to see whether they do glow. I might have to go up into the shed and see. If they do, I will take some photos, and I'll just quickly show you the bits that I did with my leftovers. So I finished off the toilet. So all of this is taken, if I go back on the video, probably it's like over 1.5 kilos. So you'd be wary when you buy these molds of how much they take. Like, you don't have to do them all like I have, but I will sell the little mushrooms separate, and I will sell these separate. But look at this one. Look at the toilet seat. So just wipe that. Just give it a quick sand. And then wipe. If you sand too much, your sparkles will drop out. So this was done with the green. Now I don't have the sparkle because I didn't drop the stuff in it. So this is from the green glow in the dark, all that sparkle. There we go. Maybe a little bit more of a sand. Now you can see the colours coming out in it. See how I'm just wiping over it? There we are. Just get that sparkle. You don't want to get too much because it'll pop out. So there we are. So it's definitely not the yellow that was sparkling, it is the green glow in the dark. So let's take our toilet out. Now, this is a bit softer than the other ones. So pull it up over the actual bowl. Roll, there we go, roll, 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 roll. Now I am curious to see how the base of this has turned out, how the system bit has come out. Okay, so we pop out that, and then we get that. It needed, because the sparkles have gone to the top of this. Oh my god, get back in there. That's not happening, is it? So the sparkles have gone to the top, and I didn't drop in the fluoro. So let's sand and see what it does. This side's a little bit rougher. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting some pink out. Because I did want it to be different. There we are. That's got a bit of sparkle that's come out in it. Wow. Do love that. Look at the toilet. look at how that is coming up. The more and more I do that, the better it looks. I really, really like how that's turned out, because I have been doing them plain, but I will be doing them different. So you can see the pink rim around there, and I wanted to be able to see different levels. Just straightening that up there. Pretty cool. Now if you want to, you can put like a little tiny knob on there if you wanted to, and it actually run into this bit, so it run into the top, so it's just got a very pale pink rim. Hopefully I've made it blurred or anything like that. There we are. Awesome. Do love that. And I had even more left over. I'll show you the seat. So you can sit the seat in like that if you want to, or you can have it closed. So you can glue him and have an open seat with a plant, or have him shut, which I think that's just so cool. And then I also had enough left to do a cup and saucer. So I'm just going to wipe that over again. You can see it coming up. There we are. Fabulous. Now let's get our saucer out. Just going to wet my cloth again. Just want it to wet my cloth again and just do that a little bit more. How cool would that be with the sparkle around the edges? With like the bits in it. So I did see a lady, and I'm so sorry, but I do not remember who did it. And she did like a geode, and she put all the sparkle in the mold, and it ended up like that. I think she's the lady that's on the boat. I'm not exactly sure, I'm afraid. Okay, now I have to gently pull this apart. Just gentle, ease it up and out. Just get this bit. There we go. Now this is super fine, so you can actually just pop that out if you want to. I just go like that without stabbing my finger on the other side, and then just go like that with it, and then just clean that up. So there we are. So you just gently, don't be too rough with it because you'll end up murdering your handle. So there we go. But you can do this when it's dry. So leave it dry, then scrape it out. Be a lot better for your hands as well. So we're going to give this a bit of a wipe and see what it does with it. I like it, but there's sparkle on the inside, and I'm liking the sparkle on the inside, but it needed to have more on the outside, but you can't do much about that. But the more you wipe, there we go, look at this. There we go, look at that, it's coming up. Alright, I am going to leave all this dry properly. Going to go and pack my bags to go away for the weekend. And I would like to thank you all so very much for watching. Hit the like button, let me know what you think, make comments. If you want to see different colours in this, then I'm willing to make different colours in it. I might not do the whole entire set next time. I can do, like, I'll just do 1 or 2. So I was meant to go and do my market for the first time this weekend, but being the long weekend, we have decided we are going away, but that gives me another week to organise what I want to take. So these will be in the market. So hopefully this video will be up by then. So if anybody knows where the Parafield Airport is and the market on the Saturday morning between 8 and 12, come and say hello, come and introduce yourself and let me know what you think of my videos. So there we go, that's that. There we go, there's our cup and saucer. I'll paint his little heart, maybe I'll paint his little heart dark green. And there we are. So thank you so very much for watching. Thank you to all of my lovely subscribers. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you all. Yep, definitely hit that like button. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you cannot, what I should, like, can be doing other things. I have so many molds here that I can be doing. So if you think that you want to see something and I've got the mold, give me a shout and I'll do it for you. So thank you so much. And be